I'm Mullally, and I'm here with Sonam Kapoor.
Hi.
So, I guess since we last talked for Neerja, let's go back to there.
Okay.
I mean, obviously it opened, it did tremendously well.
Thank you.
You won a number of awards for it.
Yeah.
It was hugely acclaimed. You know, the fan rating, you look at IMDb, etc. Everybody loves this movie. So, how big of a moment did you feel it was for you? As far as like changing your career and
I don't know about that, but I feel like you should always have like a sense of equanimity when it comes to certain things. I don't think there should be ups and downs in the way you feel when it comes to your work. You should always look forward and understand that everything that you do is for everybody else's consumption, and to kind of feel anything off that, any elation is, I don't know if it's healthy, because there's always a downer after that. So
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But creatively, obviously it's not just about the response, it was more serious subject matter.
Yeah.
It was, playing a real person and, really digging in your dramatic chops into that role. I mean, it wasn't an easy role to play, I'm sure.
I took a year off after that. It was hard for me to get into anything else. And then I decided to sign things after that. But I always take some time out after difficult films. Like I took some time out after Ranjana and stuff like that. So it's always easy to kind of wean yourself off it. I think that's what's important, to kind of disconnect to a certain extent and stay with it, but kind of not get overwhelmed. If you continue working nonstop after that, it becomes I feel like you get into a bad place. It's always important to approach it in a very clinical way after the film releases.
I mean, how conscious was that going in? Did you say, okay, I know I'm going to need a break after this film?
As soon as I finished filming it, I knew I needed a break. But when I was preparing for it, I knew it would be intense. And once I finished filming it, I definitely knew I needed to take some time off. So as soon as it released, I mean, the thing is, it got shot in 50 days, and like 7 months later it released. So I had to finish another film in between that, and then as soon as it released, I just took 1 year off before I started filming. Yeah.
I mean, walk me through that. Do you feel that you need to step away from those sorts of films for the foreseeable future as well? I mean, do you feel like this was an experience that you don't want to be able to repeat, or is this something?
No, I think it's important to, as a person, as an artist, it's always important to evolve and to say something through your work. If you don't do that, then there's no point being an artist. There's no point being an actor. Obviously, you're here to entertain as well, but it has to be a combination of the two. And I hope I just get better with whatever I do, and everything that I say through my work is important in some way or the other.
I mean, do you feel that acting fulfills you in the same way that it did?
It should, right? Because it's the way I express myself. And the whole point, I think, of being here is to communicate. As being part of a human being is to communicate, I think, is to communicate and to express yourself in some way or the other. You need to have a purpose, and acting gives me purpose. Yeah.
And so then timeline-wise, did you do the Coldplay video after filming as well?
No, in the middle. I really like Coldplay.
So it was like, okay, I'll take a break for this.
Yeah.
If Chris Martin calls, then.
Yeah, Chris Martin calls. It's like 3 hours of work. It was fun.
Yeah, sure. I mean, do you want to do more projects like that?
No, it was just a one-time thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was just because they were coming to India and they were shooting something and they wanted me to be a part of it. I was like, okay.
In that year that you were off, were you getting offered a lot of things that you were turning down?
Yeah.
What sort of things did you have to say no to?
I don't like talking about that. But I did 3 films straight after that, so it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, so let's talk about those films. Obviously, there's a variance of subject matter.
Yeah.
You have a lot of real-life people as well that you're turning to.
Yeah.
So why did you choose these ones? Why were these the 3 films that you really wanted to sink your teeth into?
I think working on Padman, which is a biopic on Muruganand, was very, very important for me to do because of the state of women in our country when it comes to, we don't get the same opportunities that men get. We don't get the same respect. that men get. There's a lot of misogyny in India. And to kind of understand that this is a basic need for a woman, sanitation. And having a period doesn't make you impure or less. It actually is something that actually, we reproduce because of it. So there's a lot of stigma attached to that. There's a lot of stigma attached to getting a period. And sanitary napkins are very heavily taxed in India. So regular women can't afford it. And with his invention and his innovation, women could get cheap sanitary napkins. And also his invention and his innovation kind of gave women an opportunity to, he created lots of jobs for women through it. And it was a very, very important story, I think, to be told. And I wanted to be a part of it. And to be like, if you get your period, it doesn't mean that you're dirty and that you have to sleep outside the house, or you have to use another toilet, or, you can't go into the temple or into the kitchen. It doesn't make you unclean. And that is a basic thing that women in India don't know.
And I mean, it's not just about the subject matter and bringing the story to life. It's also about how it's executed.
Yeah.
So tell me about your role and how you felt that leads to a more major.
I think it was about supporting this character and understanding why my character was so important in this film, and understanding that I might not have the titular role of Batman, and to kind of understand that it was women who they needed a lot of support of women in this. Like he also needed he needed the support of the right thought process, because my character that I'm playing is someone who comes from the city and who doesn't understand why people think that way. And 70% of India thinks that way. And working with Balki was the director of the film. He's made a lot of amazing films like Chini Ka Amba, and he's a very progressive thinker and director.
Tell me about how you prepared for it and what you learned throughout that process.
Just some of the statistics were shocking in terms of what, how almost 76 to 80% of women don't have access to sanitary napkins or tampons in India. They use dirty cloth.
Yeah.
And to prepare for it, it was actually very, very hard, because a lot of the information that I got was frankly very scary. To understand that my country was so ignorant and so illiterate in this matter, and that we live in a cocoon. And so it was scary, but then I understood that I needed to use that fear and that sensitivity and that compassion as a part of the character that I was playing. Besides Batman, I'm also doing this movie called Dutt, which is a biopic on, it's this guy called Sanju, who's an actor. And I'm working with this director called Raju Hirani, and I'm excited about it. That film as well. Yeah.
Playing a real life person again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you prepare for that?
Well, my character is an amalgamation of a lot of things, and I'm not allowed to speak about it because of everything that's attached to the film. But I was excited to play it. It's a very small role, but I wanted to be a part of that film. And when people see the film, they'll understand why I want to be like a small part of that. And the other film that I'm doing is called Veere the Wedding, which is completely helmed by women. And it was to basically, my sister's producing it, and I'm acting in it with a couple of my friends, my girlfriends in it. And it's basically to say that women can make films which are very entertaining and commercial and coming of age and buddy films, but not only men.
Yeah.
So it was a fun film.
I mean, it reminds me, there was that clip on Project Greenlight with Matt Damon. He was yelling about something, and he was saying, diversity doesn't happen behind the camera, it happens in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of pushback for that, because it's such a ridiculous thing to say. And I think, obviously, having women being part of every single part of this process also shows that, how important it is to have them in every single part of that process.
Yeah, and it's nice, because what is unfortunate is that there's been so much, subconsciously, women don't understand the kind of propaganda that's led to us competing with each other. It's almost been like a divide and rule kind of situation. And to understand that the more we stand together, and there's more strength in numbers, so the more we work together, the more we support each other, the opportunities for us would be better, and the way we're treated will be much better. Not that I'm saying women and men are at opposing ends, but I feel like women need to come together at one point.
Yeah, absolutely.
At some point.
Yeah, tell me about putting this together with your sister, and tell me, what were the inspirations behind the film? What kind of tone are you looking for?
Just something really, really fun and something very, very real. Because the film is very real. It's exactly what happens in society. And it's women in different stages of their lives, at different points in their lives, and for best friends. And I am working with my best friends in the film as well. Like the girls who are playing my best friends are my best friends. So it's the dynamic was very, very interesting. You know, we didn't have to create a chemistry. And the director made this film called Khoobsurat with me, and he does amazing comedy. And but he's also very good at, like, it's more dramedy than comedy, so it's pretty cool.